Thank you very much for coming by here and deciding to spend some of your time here with me. This is the main door at the end of the hallway for the haunted hospital. And because I'm getting close now to the end of the modeling, I decided I want to jump into some texturing. But you may or may not know this. I'm not the greatest artist. And so I will show you some of what I do, and I'll try not to be too repetitive. So, for example, I'll model or I'll texture this door, and then I may not show you the other door, and I'll show you the arch, and I won't necessarily show you the arched window. So we'll try not to do too many things that would just take up a lot of time, and I'm going to try to avoid showing you the actual scene for as long as I can, so that we can build up and have the reveal near the end. And there's also like that lab cart and the hospital bed, so maybe I'll show you doing the hospital bed. I know we still have to do that blanket, and you probably would be interested in seeing that. So maybe we'll do the bed, but not the cart together, so that you don't need to see me doing the same thing over and over again. All right, at any rate, we are going to work on this door. And depending on the model, there are times when I will spend a good amount of time unwrapping and then bringing things over to, say, Substance Painter, if that's how I'm going to work with it. And there are other times when I'll search for a way that I can get it done quickly if it looks all right. And that's what I'm going to do here. I mean, you don't need to see me fiddling around with UVs and trying to get it right again and again. So let me show you what's going on here. I think in the past I just didn't have that part. All right. And all I've done for this, because I want glass here, is, let's focus on that, is I created a plane and then I cut it into individual pieces. I didn't have to do that for Substance Painter to work, but in case I want to come in here at some point and delete this one or cut this one, make it a jagged edge, broken glass, it's easier to do that. So I've got that. I've also named this as door and this as door glass. All right, because I'm also going to have arched glass, and that's that. So in terms of UV unwrapping this, what I would probably do here is just come in here and select it all and go U cube projection, and I would try that. And then I thought I would come in here and select the pieces of the glass which don't have to have a very high representation on the UVs, and G, and just move them out of the way. Now right now I've got this UV sync on, okay, so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to box select the door stuff, and I could unwrap from here, or pack, I'm sorry. But in this case I'm going to use UV Pack Master 3 and uncheck rotation enable so it doesn't rotate, not that that would matter really, and just press pack and get that in there and get as much space as I can. I'm going to take this and I'm going to scale it down, and I'm going to bring it in, and then I may take every two, move them down and rotate them 90, and just make them as big as I can. Now they're not going to be exactly the same size, but it's really not going to matter that much. So I'm going to bring that in, and then I have these ones. So that's what I've got, and I'm going to see how well that works. What I now need to do is save, export this as an FBX, and bring it into Substance Painter. There's my door in Substance Painter, and in terms of my texture sets, I've got the door and I've got the glass. Now I need to come over here and bake the mesh maps. So I'll do that at 2K and uncheck ID. I don't need that. Have a look around, look for any streaks or discoloration. Looks okay. So very quick UVing. We'll see how well it turns out. Now, because this is the first item I'm going to be texturing, and I'm going to need similar textures for the arched window and some of the pieces of wood, I'm going to create a material for this, and I want to save it. I'm going to save it as a smart material so I can use it again on other pieces very easily. So let's look at that. Let's make sure we're on the door. Come over to the layers, get rid of the default layer, and come over to, let's see, well, we've got two things. We've got the metal that we need here, and the rest is going to be sort of a peeling, white, dirty, maybe bloody wood. All right, so I'm going to come to materials first. I'm going to search for metal. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to use this steel rust, and I'm going to drag that in. And that's going to go everywhere on here. Basically, I just want it on the handle, but that's fine as it is. All right. I'm going to come over to Smart Materials, and I'm going to search Paint. And this painted, steel painted worn is what I'm going to want to use. I'm going to drag that above the other layer, and that's going to put it in there. But all I really want from here is the paint layer, or the paint part. So I'm going to delete everything else in this folder, and delete those ones above, and these ones below. And that leaves me with this peeling paint that still has a number of layers in it. But I'm going to come down to here where it says shiny paint, click on that. I'm going to change the color of this to sort of a whitish color, like that. Okay, so I've got that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some wood that will go underneath there and show through in the cracks. So I'm going to come to my Smart Materials again. I'm going to type wood, and then it's just a question of which woods you actually have. This wood chest stylized, I'm not sure if that comes default in Substance Painter or if I downloaded it, but I'm going to drag that in here, and that will go underneath. And don't worry about the handle, but that's basically what I'm going to be going for right there. And I want to use that uniformly, so I'm going to turn that off, hide that, and I want these two as part of my Smart Material. So to come up here, I'm going to create a new folder, take both of these and pull them in there, and I'm going to call this something like Hospital Wood, whatever name you want. And I'm going to save this as a Smart Material. So I'm going to right click, create Smart Material. And that has actually created Hospital Wood. So if I was to delete that and take that and drag that in, that'll put that on any object that I want. Okay, now I want this metal right here. So I'm on this Hospital Wood folder. I'm going to create a black mask. So now all we see is the metal. Come over here to my polygon fill tool. Come over to properties and choose this one here, mesh fill. And click on there, and that will get most of my door. I'll click on that one. And for these ones in the middle, I want those the same as well. Just box those. So now I have the handle. Now the resolution is not very high. It's only 1024 that I'm working at, which is fine because when I export I can bring that up, or we could have a look on this layer, on the door layer, the one with the wood. Let's try 2K. And now it looks a little bit nicer. So that's the overall wood that I want to use, but I'm going to add some dirt to that as well. All right, so I'm going to come up here. I'm going to create a fill layer and a black mask. I'm going to change the color to something that's kind of a dark brown. On the black mask, I'm going to choose Add Generator, and in the properties, I'm going to change the generator to Dirt. Right away, I think that looks a lot better. And then you can modify these as much as you want. I'm just going to drag this down a little bit. I do want it quite dirty. I might bring up the grunge. So that is a Dirt. Now I could put that in my smart material. I could have done that in my smart material, so right away I would get that, but that's easy to add Dirt. All right, I'm going to add one more. I'll do a fill layer, black mask. In fact, you know what? Why not do it this way? Let's just duplicate this and clear the mask and start again. Add another generator, and this time I want to do metal edges just to darken those edges, and I'll bring that down a little bit. And I will have that. So far, that is what I'm getting, and I'm liking that. Okay, let's try some blood spatters on this. Okay, so there's Dirt copy, that's fine. I'm going to leave them right there. Okay, so for blood, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to make a paint layer, and I'll do color. And let's change that to a red color. And let's try these particle brushes. I'm going to choose maybe Leaks. I'll increase my brush size and just drag across. So you can see what we'll get. Now I'll do some of this here, and then I'll decide if I want to keep it. Now this kind of thing is something that you might want to take your time. I do like it on that stuff there. I don't mind that one too much. Let's try another one. Let's try this rain. This one may be a little bit too intense. Makes it rain. Well, that wasn't bad. And it puts little droplets. Here, I'll do another one here. All right. If I change the size of my brush, you'll see that for sure. All right. I probably would not keep this one, but I'll just drag. You see that? And then you can change the various parameters of it. I don't know that I would use that one anyhow, but let's see. Leaks heavy. It's going to be probably too much. Oh, that's not bad there. Let's just do something here. Just little bits of stuff, so it looks like there's been some craziness going on in the hospital. All right, that's looking good. Let me switch over now to there's a little handprint down there. You gotta be careful with this. I end up looking too much. I'll just do like that. All right, so there is pretty much what I'm coming up with for the door. Yeah. All right, now let's have a look at the glass. Switch over to this texture set. That's the glass. I'll delete the main layer. I'm going to come to my smart materials and search for glass. And I believe this one is default, so it's easy to use. Pull that in, and you can see I already have some of this. And that's what I want right there. The nice thing about using this glass is because it's so reflective, that's done by the metal and the roughness. And there isn't opacity here, so I don't have to worry about an opacity map and setting that up in Blender. And I just want this like that. I don't want you to be able to actually see through. All right, and I do like that effect. We could look at trying those particles on here. And then of course when I come back to Blender I can cut this like I said, or I can remove a piece here and there. So let's try that. Let's just create a regular paint layer. Let's just go to height, drop the height just a little bit, come over to the particles, and let's try this broken glass. I'm just going to click there and let it do its thing. And it does that. I don't know how realistic that looks, but this is not realistic anyhow. We could do a couple of those. We could try this rain just to see if we get some, essentially just like scratches. Okay, I just want a little bit of stuff here and there like that. I'm not going to see it that close anyhow. And we get that effect. Those are the main ones I would probably use. Let's try Sandstorm and just see if it creates some texture on here for us. All right, that's good. And that is what I'm going for. So I'm going to maximize this. I'll come over here and I will turn on temporal anti-aliasing. This is just a look or activate a color profile and choose something that we could use to look at this. And of course I can change the environment lighting as well. And this is essentially what I'm going to do when it comes to those arches as well. It's going to be the same idea, this kind of wood and glass like this. All right, so I don't have to show you all of that. So I have two doors to do. I will do the other door with the same smart material and add some blood to it the same way and the same kind of glass. And we'll just carry on with the texturing, and periodically I'll show you updates if it's not something that I'm making a video for you as I'm doing the texturing. And if it is, then you can just watch me do it. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.